Okay, people. I hope, yeah. So we are live and good evening, all. I welcome, I warm welcome you all over here in this event where we are going to discuss a lot of different discussions. We are going to talk about each and everything on the topic of space law. Now, this is actually a very different thing that this topic, space law, not just represents that what are the current developments in space that recently Chandrayaan 3 went, right? So everyone was all about like what is a tough particular topic. We all have been thinking the since the very of our childhood, since my teenage, like what I am thinking is that space law belongs to the topics of like rocket scientists and many other topics which are actually covered in space law, in the field of astronomy, right? So we discussed that theoretical astronomy which is there, we discuss about black holes, we discuss about HR diagrams, we discuss about the spectral class of the stars which is there, we discuss about each and everything. Even for example, let me tell you that even Marvel which is there, like right from Iron Man to Captain America and all these discussion, these all revolves around astronomy, but there is some very much practical orientation that what exactly there is something. For example, in corporate sector there is a hierarchy of each and everything. Some things has to go in its ways, the things which are going, some things needs to be done the way it should be. So the same way, there is one board for handling the space treaty. So there was some treaties signed in the history for a very normal for a for space being a safe space. So at the same time, there are many coincidences. There are many what I can say, conspiracy theories behind the same. Like for example, it all starts from the race while going to the moon. The which we all know, geopolitics is always involved in each and everything, in each and every aspect of our life. If I say, and space is one of them. Now, space is going to be the battleground. Many people say, including Elon Musk, the space is going to be a battleground in future for World War III at the same time. So we are going to discuss many things regarding the same aspect of our life, the same perspective, and for that we are having my dear friend Mr. Chitranjan Mishra over here. He is, let me tell you, he is a very he is a founder of SRM Celestial Cosmonaut, and at the same time he is also a very a very enthusiast astronomer. He keeps on debating about many other things. He's having a very vivid knowledge regarding geopolitics. So I can tell you that he is not going to bore you for sure, but I need one promise from you all, is that you are going to participate in the conversation as much as he is going to put. Okay, so it is going to be a 50-50 thing, not a usual PPT or webinar thing which we all usually do. So I really want many things that from you people as well, and ask him as many questions. May it be the stupidest question of all, but let me tell you, nothing is stupid when it comes to space. Okay, so clear out yourself. I will be the one. I also myself being a part of this webinar will not be as a host, but as a part of a participant as well. Okay, and I will give certificate to myself as well at the end of the webinar. Okay, so yes, over to you, Chittaranjan. Have a great time. Thank you.
Okay. So hello Suham and hello guys, and I hope you guys will be enjoying this session as much as I am enjoying to speak in front of you guys. So basically, you guys might be interested in space only. That's why you came to this session. And first of all, I just want to be this session to be an interesting one. So if you guys are comfortable, can you switch on your cameras? It will be a good interaction between us if you guys are comfortable. So if you guys really comfortable, please can you switch on your cameras like I do? So it will be a two-way communication. We can do so. And if so, you are not comfortable, so be there. We'll start a debate or just swaying on the topics and spreading the views on that particular thing. Seeing no particular camera is on, so I'll move further. So basically, I'll just ask a thing from you guys. Like you guys are interested in space, okay? So basically, according to you, what's the particular line dividing the particular line divides the space and our Earth's atmosphere? You guys are aware of that? Like from where the space starts, basically. Any one of you knows a particular answer for that? You can give the answer. It can be a stupid one also. No one will make your fun of you, yeah. Let's go with the answer. If you know the answer, just go with it. Any answer it can be. Like from where the space starts. Basically, what's the particular thing is called space? What is space?
There's a line
Mm-hmm.
which we call the line that's Kármán line. I think I'm not pronouncing it correctly.
Yes, yes, you're right. You're right. Yes, some other guy also raised the hand. Who was? Yes, yes. Go ahead. Go ahead. Aman, your voice is not audible.
So if anyone's mic is not working, you can always
Huh.
go ahead and type it your thing in the chat box.
Huh.
I am having a constant view over that.
Okay.
Not a problem.
Hmm. So basically, going ahead. So I didn't remember the name who answered the question, but basically, yeah, she was right. That the Kármán line is a particular line that divides the atmosphere, our Earth's atmosphere, and it's not fixed. Earth's atmosphere and the space. Basically, the Kármán line is a particular line that gives an idea from where space starts. It's around 80 kilometers to 110 kilometers. Between that, it's not a fixed particular line like our equator. Equator is a fixed line stretched in between of our Earth. It's divided two hemispheres in between. But this Kármán line is not a fix. It's very blurry. It can start from 80 kilometers and can end, its ghost can go up to 110 kilometers up in the sky. There's no fixed line. So no one on Earth can say that from this part is space and below this part is our atmosphere. There's no fixed point. And this is because the thing is that because Earth is very diverse. There are different geographies available on an Earth, so there are different pressures in the atmosphere available as well. So depending upon the pressure in the atmosphere, the Kármán line, the distance of the Kármán line from the surface decreases and increases. It depends upon the pressure available in that atmosphere. And the thing is that it's in the troposphere. It's in the thermosphere. Sorry for saying that. Like you guys will be studying in these classes in your schools, like different layers are there in the atmosphere. So starting with the troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, then goes into the thermosphere, and the last phase is the exosphere. So in between of that, where the thermosphere starts, in the starting of the thermosphere only, because thermosphere is the largest sphere in our atmosphere system. It goes around from the 80 kilometers to 100 and 300 kilometers or 350 kilometers. So in between there, somewhere Kármán line come. And if you guys, any one of you know what is aurora? What is a aurora? Any one of you having an idea what is an aurora? Guys, answer if you guys know what's a natural phenomenon. Yes, Ritu.
I think I might try on it. It is
Hmm.
like some kind of electrostatic things going around the poles, because of which like the different kind of colors appear.
Hmm. You're quite right. So basically, I asked this question to just prove that where the space starts. So auroras are the way to prove that from this particular line the space starts, because auroras are nothing just a solar flame which is coming from the sun towards the earth, and they are diverted because of earth's magnetic field. But they meet with our atmosphere at our poles, because at the poles. Okay, my voice is low. Okay, I'll increase my voice. Fine. Thanks for this commenting this. And guys, if you have any other problem also, please comment that too. So basically, auroras are the thing that meets our Earth's atmosphere at the poles. So basically, at the poles, the auroras are occurring because that solar flames are reacting. In Indian Constitution, every line defines that this is correct and this is wrong. If you do this, you'll be a criminal. If you don't do this, you'll not be a criminal. Every particular line states properly that if you are doing this, it's wrong. You're not doing this, it's fine. But in space, there is no such thing. It's no such thing. You can't say that I did this thing in space. I did this thing in our atmosphere. So basically, for this only, because back in the 1960s and all, that time colonization was at the peak, and US and Russia were fighting in the space war, and that all time. So all countries came together and just started to say that we should sign a space treaty, outer space treaty. Like they were claiming that they are saying that we landed on moon and we put our flag on the moon, so moon is ours. It says by that we planted our flag on the moon, like we hosted our flag on the moon, so moon is ours. So the thing is that for that only, like we can't claim the celestial objects which are outside the earth. For that only, they signed a treaty. But in that treaty, it's very vague, very vague. Nothing is clearly written. It's very vague. You can't say that from, because they still not defined that where space starts. They are just giving an assumption from this kilometer to this kilometer is space. But below this kilometer and above this, what's is happening? If you launch a missile in any other country's airspace, then what's the line of that airspace? Like if you launch a missile at 110 kilometer, would it be considered space, or would it be considered the airspace of that particular country? Because it says like space is free for every country. You can launch a satellite, you can launch anything, you can launch a missiles or anything you want to launch in your space is free for every country. Anyone can do whatever he wants until and unless you are going for a nuclear power, because in that treaty, the space treaty, it was signed, no country will do any nuclear development or any kind of something in the particularly space or any other celestial bodies. So basically, the thing is that it's not defined. So countries are like that. He launched a missile in my airspace, and he launched a missile on over my country. He flew a aircraft, a military aircraft over my country. Like India tested recently. India tested. So basically, yes, anyone wants to speak something? Okay, fine. So basically, India recently tested a Shakti missile. It was tested by DRDO. So that missile was a satellite killer missile. So India tested that missile to just kill a satellite. So like killing a satellite with its kinetic energy. It was not carrying any kind of explosive or something. That satellite was just roaming around the space, and then that missile, Shakti missile, was launched recently. I think so, back around 1 or 2 months back. So that missile was launched, and it used the kinetic energy of that missile. That satellite was destroyed in the space around 300 or 350 kilometers above. So basically, over the world is saying that this is not fine. You can, if the other country satellites are roaming, they are not safe because of India, because India can destroy satellites with their missiles and all. This is not the first time India did this. Other countries like USA, China, and all these all did also the same thing. So it's very like, countries have started fighting over each other's, like you can't go in my airspace and these all things. So until now, you guys have any questions regarding that? Any confusions? Any questions? Any silly questions you can also ask. Yes, Adma.
I just had one doubt, like as you said that the things in space can't be divided by any of the person or any of the community. So how come like people can get some kind of certificate in which there is mentioned that this the particular star or the particular planet is being named after that person? How is it
Hmm.
possible when it is not being done? My
So
question is that.
basically, the thing is that if you're seeing a particular star or the celestial object that is found by a person sitting on Earth by its telescope, so he can name that. He just named that because he found that with his telescope. So he just patented that because I found this, so I'll patent this with my name. So this is a simple thing. And one more thing, I think so. You asked that like in USA, if any particular person crosses 60,000 feet, so not 60,000 feet, around 100 kilometers, exactly 110 kilometers or 100 kilometers. If any person in USA, in US government, this is a law in the US government, like if any person in US crosses around 100 or 110 kilometers in the space, then he'll be given a badge of astronauts. They gets a badge for that, like astronaut wings. They call it astronaut wings. So that badge is given to that particular person, because still they are not having in USA. They say that after 100 kilometers it's space, but it's not exactly that. When it comes to their geopolitics situation, they say that my space is still 150 kilometers. If you launch any missile above 100 kilometers, then also I consider it as a war. This is the thing, because no country in the world is having a particular line that after this much I'll not consider that my airspace. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I have one question from my side, and I would like to you to give your views on it. For example,
Okay.
this happened in the early 19th century when India tried its nuclear weapon at the Pokhran range. So
Mhm.
we have all seen well, in the movie as well. It is shown that the most powerful satellite of America at that time was going above from the countries, and we see that they introspect each and every country, the border of a country, what is exactly going on, where it is exactly going on. So that means that each and every satellite of, it might be America, it might be China, it might be Russia, these three countries try to hold as much power with the information they have. So at the same time, do you think that it is important to have some, just as way, for example, if right now the war is going on with Israel and the Palestine, so at
Palestine,
the
yes.
same time they close their airspace, right? For example, like Israel closed its airspace for US
Mhm.
flights or for Indian flights or
Yes.
something, right?
Mhm.
So at the same time, the laws which we have in airspace, each and every country is having its own laws in airspace, right? So do you think that it is important to have the laws in space as well, because as there is no limit for such kind of space, yeah, the cross section the cross section of that airspace which is there above India, that will be only owned by India, and no other satellite of US, China can go above from it. That means that will be that is respecting the privacy which we call, for example. What do you think on this?
Okay, so basically the thing is that for you are asking for the space force, the first treaty, it is the first and the last treaty till now that was signed by around 111 or
Hmm.
113 countries. It was signed in back 1967. That time no one was knowing that what in the future we will be doing, how many satellites we will be launching. But now if you see in 2023, every country is having around 1,000 and satellites in the space.
Hmm.
Okay, so basically if they see, the thing is that if we are developing, we'll develop a new we'll develop with a new technologies that will find that the other satellites or the other countries are spying on us or not, because stopping them from going over a country is not fine. Because if they are seriously doing something for mankind only, if they are seriously doing something good for the mankind, then it will affect that.
Hmm.
But if they are particularly spying on a country, that's wrong. I agree that that's wrong. But if we'll stop that, if you are doing seriously something good for the mankind, then that's wrong. So basically, in future, because this is a simple mindset in the other country's mind that we should not spy on that particular thing or any particular country. If they are doing that, so then that's a war crime. I think so. That's a particularly war crime. Someone just sent a message. Okay, I think. Yes. If they are doing sure. I'm saying that only because there is nothing particularly fixed line from 80 kilometers to 110 kilometers. It can be anything. It can be anything because around that only in thermosphere there is an ionosphere. That ionosphere consists of ions, and that ions only are the last point where our particular atmosphere ends. It's according to that. After that, it's space only, vacuum that we call it. Hmm. Yes. Anyone other is having any kind of other question? Okay.